My name is Brian Beach. I am a pharmacist and partner at Kelley-Ross and Associates, or Kelley-Ross Pharmacy Group. I am the chief financial officer at Kelley-Ross and have been here for about 19 years now. Kelley-Ross has been around since 1925, and some of the artwork you see behind me represents a little bit of that history. Not the entirety, unfortunately, but there's a lot of shout outs to my partner and I's history, where we came from, some of the other families that have owned this over the years, the Kelleys and the Rosses. I have been practicing for about 23 years now, a graduate of University of Washington. You can see that shout out right over here to this side with the big W. And it's been a fun time at Kelley-Ross, a lot of transformative changes over the last 19 years that I've been here, especially in the last few years. And so it's been interesting to kind of see that development and learn and grow with everybody in this organization. As a multi-store owner, we have seen a number of challenges over the years and continue to. The biggest one is trying to manage all of these from a single location and the people from a single location. So whether it's data collection, interaction with our team members, process improvement, just getting what we need, and then also providing our team with what they need. It makes it challenging just from a day-to-day standpoint. And I think, that also flows through on my side, where I kind of oversee the accounting and bookkeeping side, making sure that all those processes are followed and that there aren't gaps that are created. And not being there face-to-face, it makes it much more difficult. And I think that is one of the challenges that we had over the years, over the 19 years that I've been at Kelley-Ross, trying to keep all of those moving pieces moving forward and people, all the communication in kind of the same place with all of those various team members. So having good processes, having knowledge of how other people do it, those are some challenges that we've had over the years. And while we have colleagues out in the community that have multiple stores, I think there's still, it's a very small kind of sample size, if you will. And so one of the real benefits that I see of having Sykes Company as a partner is their interaction with a variety of customers on their side and partners on their side that have multiple stores and can bring some of those best practices to us and be able to say, I understand how you're doing it this way, or we think we see there might be a challenge here. Have you considered doing this? Or we have made this, change, implemented at these other stores, or suggested that. This might be something to look at. So I think it's bringing that depth of knowledge and kind of understanding from an industry standpoint that is so valuable as we kind of move forward owning all these stores. Training for new team members at Kelley-Ross, especially in the bookkeeping side, has historically been a very long process. One of the challenges we find is there aren't many bookkeepers that have pharmacy experience. So many, while they may be coming from healthcare or a healthcare related company, some totally unrelated to healthcare, there's a steep curve. And honestly, my role as a pharmacist, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a CPA. I don't have that background and training, but I know pharmacy. And so some of the terminology that's used, the concepts that are used, where we are in accrual-based accounting, how we have to handle that, training people to do that can be a very long process. We have gone through turnover in the past after having a very stable bookkeeping department for a decade or more at a time, where we would lose maybe one person and slowly onboard somebody. And so there was always continuity. But, about 6 years ago, we ran into a situation where both people in that department, in that group, essentially left at the same time. And so we had to replace both people at the exact same time. And that was a real challenge. it took quite a while with me taking on a lot of the day-to-day bookkeeping roles and training at the same time. And so there was a real challenge to keep up, providing, my partners and the bank and, everybody involved who needed it, really solid information, and training our staff to get them to the point where they could be self-sufficient. I would expect to see turnover in this role every 2 to 3 years. And to think about spending a year to train, a year self-sufficient, maybe 2, and then have to do it all over again every single time, every couple of years is just, is more than I was, interested in doing, for one. And knowing that Sykes is there, and in the event that they have turnover, they are cross-trained and they are, sharing these roles and sharing the understanding of our business. So we would see little, if any, impact on a day-to-day basis on what's being provided. And I think that's a huge value to me, to be able to understand that, the information that we need to make good decisions for our business is always going to be there, regardless of what's going on. That Sykes is always going to be there in the background doing really valuable work, and doing it really without the need for looking over people's shoulders. There's always the review and there's always some checks and balances, but I'm not concerned with that being done. And so I can always put my energy into longer range or more important things than the day-to-day transactional work that I occasionally have had to do, and really draws me away from that value-added work. So one area that Sykes and Company has helped us and helped me personally kind of move beyond the bookkeeping side of things and really find a way to focus on my business is, taking that day-to-day transactional work off of my plate allows me to look at, kind of higher level trends and really not get stuck in the weeds. And I think that's one challenge that I have, is when I'm doing that day-to-day work, I find that I what's the saying? You lose the forest for the trees. And, being able to step back and look at that from a 10,000, 50,000 foot level, whatever you want to say, helps me to advise my partners, helps me to work with our team members and look at trends, look at, less about, hard details around the historicals, but really use that data as the basis to move beyond where we are today. And I think that's ultimately the value of Sykes, is having a trusted partner that can do that work and know that whatever comes out of that is foundational for any decisions that we make in the future. And I can spend my time and energy on that work and not worry about the rest of it. And the last 15 months, I think my partners have seen my ability to not worry about that as much. And my stress levels have reduced because I don't have to worry about not only the day-to-day, but also all these future planning and all the higher level decisions. It gives me peace of mind. It gives them peace of mind. And it gives us all the ability to come together and really talk as owners about where we want the business to go. I think accounting in general is really important for any business owner to understand. And there are a lot of owners out there that will look at, is there cash in the bank, and decide whether they're in a good spot or not, and whether they're, profitable, whether they are, if they're just able to make payroll, just able to pay their vendors, that's my measure of success. And I think that is a measure of success, but one of the valuable pieces with accounting, for us at Kelley-Ross, is giving us not just a slice of the pie on how our performance is, but really a broader view of our business in general. And we've had accounting partners in the past for many, many years. I think one of the challenges that we've had over those years is they've never had, much, if any, understanding of the pharmacy business in general. And all businesses work slightly differently. And, there were times where we felt like we were more knowledgeable on the accounting side for pharmacy than our accountants were. And it's one of the pieces that, while helpful because it brings a different viewpoint of just business in general, I think that's been a value add for us over this last year plus working with Sykes, is a company that has a very deep and broad understanding of pharmacy and can bring ideas and concepts to bear and, provide some visibility on how our business is doing. Cash in the bank is definitely a good measure of whether you're able to stay afloat. But I think understanding, more than that gives you the ability to look at other options moving forward and look at where your business is moving forward, because you've got all these different pieces and interplays in your business, all these things that are interacting with each other. And so one measure isn't going to do it all. And working with a partner like Sykes, I think, gives you the ability to have somebody who can come and give you some ideas of what generally is going on, give you that 50,000 foot view of your business, and ask you some questions that will hopefully spark some thought and spark some kind of a review of your business in a way that you haven't maybe done in the past, and help you improve and help you work with your team to get better and be there for your patients and be there for the community that you're a part of, which is ultimately our goal. You need to make money to be able to stay afloat, and staying afloat is how we take care of our patients. And so, increasing our knowledge of our business is got to be paramount, just like, keeping yourself up to date on the pharmacy world. It's all there and it's all important.